Charge do the wave like they know I'm that guy. Woo! Bulls break loose when I whisper a trade. Your stock's in the red, guess who got paid? Ha! Strutting and swayed with the alligator boots. Come on! Got your lady by the waist, now she loving my moves. Yeah, ticker tape fall like confetti in the air. I make a bear turn bull with a devilish stare. Woo! Velvet Kohrs. Feather in the hat, diamonds in the door. Velvet Kohrs. Turn one into 10 and flip it some more. Velvet Kohrs. Cash like waves keep crashing the shore. Velvet Kohrs. Top of the game, better check the scoreboard. That Midas touch, every bet go gold. While you playing checkers, I'm running the whole board. Damn, limit up, limit down, baby, I don't flinch. Yeah, dipped in velvet, pockets deep like a trench. Woo! Got my feet on the desk, Wall Street's on my line. Ring, ring. Saying velvet, how you do it, every call so divine. Told him, listen, little player, I was born to shine. I see green every morning when I open my eyes. Ooh, they jealous of the game. Yeah. Velvet Kohrs. Ooh, they whispering my name. Velvet Kohrs. Charts go wild when I step on the floor. Velvet Kohrs. Trend so hot, gotta mop up the floor. Velvet Kohrs. If I cash out, market begs me for more. Velvet Kohrs. Drip too clean, yeah, my game too pure. Y'all ain't never seen a player this cold. Velvet Kohrs. Stealing your girl, printing money in gold. Velvet Kohrs. From the charts to the clubs, my legend unfolds. Just watching while my pockets explode.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Let's give it up for Velvet Kohrs. Velvet Kohrs, thank you so much for starting off the show. It's always exciting to get going in the world's largest casino when we have some in-house entertainment. Velvet Kohrs, he's such a good guy. He's a fun guy. He's a good guy. He's a handsome guy. He's a guy's guy. He's also a girl's guy. He's just the guy, if you will. Folks, it is a beautiful Thursday, March the 6th. I don't know if there's any holidays or anything like that today, but what I can tell you, it's going to be a fucking bonkers day in the market. Intraday session. Once again, I'm just talking about today. I'm not really talking about swing positions right now. My prediction is not really bullish or bearish, but whatever way we go, I think it's going to be a big move. I'm expecting some big volatility, big ranges, big craziness. So we're going to have to see how the options market is looking when the market gets open. So we're waiting about 30 minutes, 25 minutes for that one. So right now, I wish I had a crystal ball that could tell you to be bullish or bearish today. But what I can tell you is looking at how the option structure is really setting up and looking at what's going on with volatility in the news and the excitement for tomorrow's unemployment report. Are we getting any updates on tariffs? There's a lot of things saying, hey, whatever the move today is going to be, it's going to be a big one. So like I said, I cannot earnestly sit here and stand here and talk to you and say, yeah, be bullish or be bearish, because it's just not clear at this moment in time. I know in pre-market trading, things are looking pretty brutal right now, lower highs, lower lows, but I also want to point out that we're currently in pre-market trading right here. We're now sitting pretty much at major support. So that's what's so interesting about opening up at major support is if it holds, we might just bounce off it all day and rip. That's totally possible. We've been seeing it happening. On the other side, if the major support doesn't hold, yes, then there's going to be quite a bit of downside. So all I could tell you is pre-market trading, it's a bloodbath. It's red. It's the red wedding. It's scary. It's bearish. It's whatever you want to call it. But we sold all the way down to a key support level. And what do you do at a key support level? You do nothing. You sit there and wait, and you're patient and you're disciplined, and you either wait for the breakdown and you play the next leg, or you wait for the bounce off of it. But what I'm telling you right now is based on where we're at exactly in pre-market trading. This is now support. We are at a major support level. So I can't tell you if we're going to bounce or break. All I can tell you is whatever the move is going to be from here, probably going to be a very profitable move if you're on the right side of that trend. So very excited for today. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the overall market, the SPY, the Qs. I made an update video yesterday about how I'm still very excited about Palantir and MSTR, how they're setting up. So ideally, those ones really get going today. In yesterday's video, I even saw it a little bit of confusion in some of the commentary this morning. They're like, Matt, how could you say that don't buy the dip, but then you're buying the dip on these? Remember, there's different equities. There's different indices, different things set up differently. In yesterday's video, I said, hey, I still do not believe this is the time to buy the dip in the overall market. I think there's more patience that really has to be had. And if you look at SPX, I believe it gets exciting and real of a Vanna rally of that dip high above 5,900. That's how the options market is currently setting up. But that's with respect to the S&P 500. That not everything looks the exact same as the S&P 500. That's the market. Welcome to the world of trading. Certain things look more bullish. Certain things look more bearish. I do not believe that the dip buy, once again, based on the current setup, obviously the market is dynamic, so you got to wait. In terms of the overall market, I'm looking at 5,900 on SPX to really get that dip buy in there because I'm betting on a Vanna rally, especially heading into March OPEX. Cut that if you want, but that's my big prediction. Now, there are certain equities that are already looking strong. And right now, MSTR is an interesting one because there's a lot of aggression in the options market. And we know that there's a big crypto conference tomorrow, Friday, for the government and all the crypto bigwigs. So there might be some sort of announcement coming from that this weekend. So people are playing it. There's kind of it's a binary event. It's a 50-50 coin flip of like, are we going to get an announcement? The other thing that's setting up very interesting really right now is Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR. So even though I really like those right now, I guess not everyone's capable of walking and chewing gum at the same time. But here I am saying, yes, the overall market, I want to see more before I get back into it. But there are individual equities that right now I do like. Those are not opinions that are contradictions to each other. Of course, it's better if everything's kind of in alignment. I would agree with that. The more things that align, the better. But just because you don't like the overall market doesn't mean you have to hate all individual equities, and vice versa. Certain equities could look like trash at a certain moment while the overall market looks good. So I just want to remind everyone that this is not such a black and white world of just nope, we're all bullish, or nope, we're all bearish. That's not how markets work. If anything, we are very much in the gray area of, okay, we've sold off a lot. Some things are starting to recover. Do we see some interesting opportunity? Without a doubt. Are other things still looking pretty unhealthy? Obviously, also without a doubt. But I'm more than happy to explain in further detail in today's show of what a Vanna rally is, what a Gamma rally is, if there's any questions out there. So we're going to be talking about all that stuff. Of course, we do have some news. I'm going to give you the latest update of what's going on with the tariffs and the trade war and the Trump pump, Trump dump, Trump pump, Trump dump, Trump pump, Trump dump. That's the dump we're currently on. I think I got that right. Then we have some news out of Europe. The ECB, they did their interest rate decision. I have some things to talk about with Mexico, Canada, and China. We have to prep for tomorrow. Tomorrow's an unemployment report. And then we also have some earnings tonight, namely Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO, and Costco, ticker symbol COST. So we have some earnings. We have macroeconomic events. We have some options data. We have some key levels. We got lots to talk about. I hope you guys crushed it yesterday. I had a good day. It was a tough day. It was a profitable day, so I can't cry that much. But yesterday I found it to be a difficult trading session. So today I hope it's way, 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 way easier. So I hope you guys made a ton of tendies yesterday. I hope you guys are about to make a ton of tendies today, and then prepping us up for the final trading day of the week tomorrow. So everyone, buckle up, Buttercup, because we got quite the show ahead of us. So right here, you can see 11:45 we started to pop. It got really going right at noon because that's when we got the commentary, or at least the update, that tariffs aren't going to be the tariffs related to autos and automakers and all that are going to get delayed by another month. So that's the news that came out at noon and caused us to rip pretty much right until the end of the day. Right now in pre-market trading, you can just see that the futures market has been bleeding off ever since 2 a.m. You could probably see it a little bit better here on the 30-minute. So 2 a.m., 2:30, we've just been selling. And then right around 8:30, 8:45, we did get the update from the ECB, and not too much is happening from there. Right now, you could see 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour. All the major time frames are bearish. And I know that's a crazy thing to say, but another crazy thing to say is that we are literally right now at major support. So there is that chance, some non-zero chance, that we just bounce off the support and actually have a green day. So I'm basically telling you, be prepared for all eventualities because we're at a key level right now. Be prepared for the bounce, be prepared for the breakdown. Basically, sit on your hands until you're confident of an actual trend and then play that trend accordingly. Dow futures dropped nearly 400 points as selling returns to Wall Street on Trump tariff confusion. Before we get to that, the big news of this morning is the ECB, the European Central Bank. They cut rates again, so policy is becoming meaningfully less restrictive. The rate cut brings the ECB's deposit facility rate, its key rate, to 2.5%, a move that markets had widely priced in before the announcement. The markets are getting very, very good at knowing what these central banks are going to do. And if anything, that's a good sign. I don't think central banks should be surprising the world of their decisions. So the fact that it's so easily modeled, so easily telegraphed, I think that is a healthier market setup. The central bank updated the language in its decision to say monetary policy was becoming meaningfully less restrictive. Data published earlier this week showed that inflation in the region eased to 2.4% in February, down from January's reading, but slightly higher than expected. So that's some of the news we got out this morning right here. We also happened to get the initial jobless claims coming in less than expected. So both of those are a little bit more bullish than anything else, which is why I'm still here a bit surprised with the aggressive sell-off that we've had since 2 a.m. Because if anything, from the market close of yesterday to right now, we haven't had some crazy bearish news. It's not like something massive came out of nowhere and surprised us all. But anyway, what's really going to be moving the market is the update on tariffs. So the latest narrative the latest chapter in the narrative of the tariffs is this. Trump grants automakers a 1-month exemption from tariffs. The White House granted a 1-month delay for tariffs on automakers whose cars comply with the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, which was negotiated during President Trump's first term. Automakers have urged Trump to waive the 25% tariff on Mexico and Canada on vehicles that comply with the USMCA's rules of origin. So they got another delay. Obviously, this isn't all of the tariffs, but as soon as this was announced, it came out around noon yesterday, the bots went haywire. And like you could see right after noon is we just started to pop and rip. And unfortunately, I was short at the moment that happened. So it was painful for me to see my stop completely skipped over. Trump to delay Canada-Mexico tariffs on autos for 1 month. And that's not the only story because we actually might have a little bit of a delay in the world of agriculture as well.
Bloomberg reporting that the U.S. is considering a 1-month delay of Canada and Mexico tariffs on autos. Remember, yesterday, the 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada went into effect. So, Kaylee, what do we know right now about this potential 1-month delay?
Well, our colleagues here at Bloomberg, Scarlett, are reporting this via people familiar with the matter, that the U.S. is at least considering this delay after concerns were expressed by the big three automakers. And this tracks with what we heard teased by President Trump in his joint address to Congress last night when he said he spoke to the heads of the big three. That would be Ford, GM, and Stellantis yesterday. And according to our sources that we're citing here, those talks could continue today. The concern here, of course, is that the auto sector is very vulnerable in a scenario in which tariffs are on our North American trading partners. According to Bloomberg Economics, U.S. automakers in particular, for some key parts like seatbelts and airbags, for example, are reliant on the imports of those parts, some 80% from Canada and Mexico specifically, which is why you had the likes of Jim Farley saying recently that these kind of tariffs could potentially, quote, blow a hole in the industry. He said on an earnings call this could lead to billions of dollars in profits being lost by the industry, potentially the losses of U.S. jobs. And he also ultimately noted that it could mean higher costs for consumers. We actually saw an Anderson Economic Group study that came out earlier this week that suggested these tariffs could raise the cost of vehicles in the United States as much as $12,000. So that may be what the Trump administration is now considering here. And we got some of this teased by the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, as well, who yesterday suggested the idea that the president was weighing pulling back, at least in some sectors, or some middle ground on the tariffs on Canada and Mexico. And he told our colleagues on Bloomberg Surveillance earlier this morning that an announcement on this could come as soon as this afternoon, suggesting it could be a sector like autos. I would note, though, Scarlett, that what we're hearing from Canada, or at least Canadian officials familiar who have spoken to Bloomberg, is that unless all of the tariffs are removed on Canadian goods, the retaliatory tariffs that Canada has put into place will remain. So we expect that President Trump and Justin Trudeau, according to that source, will be speaking on this today as well.
We are expecting an additional conversation from the, I guess, Trump team and Trudeau team. So that is going to be the big news of yesterday. Of today, it did expand a little bit. Trump weighs agricultural carve-outs to Canada and Mexico. Right here, President Donald Trump is considering exempting certain agricultural products from tariffs imposed on Canada and Mexico. The latest move by the administration yesterday, Wednesday, to offer relief to certain sectors from sweeping new import taxes. Basically, they might save our avocado toast. The Agriculture Secretary Rollins, everything is on the table, and she is hopeful that the administration could decide on providing relief for the agricultural sector. So we might be getting a little bit of an update there. I do want to remind everyone, next week, it is scheduled that we have tariffs on steel and aluminum. I want to say it's steel and something else. I'm pretty sure it's steel and aluminum. That's mid-March. And then remember, at the start of April 2nd, because he said he doesn't want to do April Fool's Day. He doesn't want anyone to think it's a joke, is when we're going to start with the reciprocal tariffs. But I do want to remind everyone, this is now at a certain point, the fact that it's being announced and discussed, remember, it's priced in. The market doesn't work in a way where, oh, okay, we're not going to price it in until it actually goes into effect. The fact that we ideally know what's going on, of course, there's some uncertainty. Remember, as soon as it's announced, that's when markets price things in. They don't necessarily wait for it to take effect. There's no trader out there saying, oh, I'm not going to care about tariffs at all until they actually happen. No, what moves the market is the announcement of these things, not necessarily like when it's truly going into effect. Tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, China says it's ready to fight the U.S. until the end. But is it? China said it was prepared to fight any type of war with the U.S. as President Donald Trump ratchets up economic and political pressure on the country. Probably shouldn't say any type of war, as if the Chinese military is even close to the size of our military, but weird. If war is what the U.S. wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, that's a crazy thing to say. We're ready to fight until the end. A Chinese foreign ministry spokesperson later in the day called the U.S. fentanyl relation explanation for imposing tariffs a flimsy excuse. When I saw that, that's like an insane thing to say. We are ready for any other type of war. Like, what? So anyway, they're talking a big game, but if you look at the numbers, they don't really have the ability to talk a big game. China is secretly worried Trump will win on trade. In seeking accord with the U.S., Beijing wants to avoid becoming isolated like the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Like I said, they have to say some of this stuff to save face. They just have to. But we know they have lofty GDP targets of 5%. We know the chance of them hitting that GDP target is a snowball's chance in hell. We know that there's political discontent. We know there's a shadow banking issue. We know there's a real estate issue with all those ghost towns. We know some things are going on there. And really, much to the chagrin of China, the Russia-U.S. relationships are getting a bit stronger. So China, if anything, was probably relying on, okay, like we want that relationship to stay bad. But not looking so good for them. Like I said, I get that they have to say what they have to say just because they have to, but they really don't have the most to argue with at this moment in time. I mean, as I've said before, Trump truly does have the ability to send any of these countries, but namely Canada, Mexico, and China. He could send any of them to a recession by Q3 of this year if he wants. Now, we would also take a hit in the meantime. Of course, like we would get damaged in that. But the fact that we just have a larger economy means we could take more of a hit like on a relative basis before it becomes like really, really bad. So it would be bad for us, but it would be worse for these quote unquote trade partners. So this is playing a dangerous game of chicken right now. That's what we're in. It's a very, very dangerous game of hot potato, where the hot potato is not a hot potato. It is more of a financial economic market bomb, and the last one holding it could be in serious, serious trouble. All right, bringing it back to today, I do want to let you know The ECB, all right, kind of did exactly what we expected it to do. Initial jobless claims coming in less than expected. That's a welcome sign, especially because there's been so much more rhetoric on this concept of a soft labor market, a softening economy. So the fact that initial jobless claims coming in less than expected, that's a good thing. Right now in real time, they are having the ECB press conference, so we might have to come back to that. But I do want to let you know that tomorrow's going to be a big day. So not only is it the conclusion of the week, but we are going to be getting the unemployment report, which right now the Fed really cares about. And then it just so happens that the chairman of the Fed is going to be speaking at 12:30. And now it just so happens that Trump's going to be speaking at 1:30. Tomorrow's going to be wild. I think today's going to be wild in terms of people attempting to anticipate what's going to happen and whether it's bullish or bearish. That could get amplified tomorrow or completely reverted tomorrow. The next two trading sessions are going to be like just wild. Today, we're at major support. There was a sell-off. We got some good news. Are we going to bounce back? Are we going to break and we're going to vomit? Tomorrow, before the market opens, gigantically impressive, impactful unemployment report, followed by a speech from the chairman of the Fed, followed by a speech from Trump himself. Tomorrow's gonna be nuts. No one in the world can sit here and be like, yep, you got to be bullish, you got to be bearish. That's not how you win. You can do it, and maybe you're going to be right. You have a 50-50 shot. But I think the smarter way to do this is to watch the options flow, pay attention to support and resistance, look at what these key levels are that we do day in and day out, and identify as many low risk, high reward opportunities as you possibly can. I should also remind you, we're still in earnings season. After the market closes today, Broadcom and Costco. Broadcom, obviously in the semiconductor space, very important company. Same thing with Costco. So we're going to get a little bit of like kind of that AI semiconductor update, and then we're going to get a little bit of an idea of like how strong retailers are right now, or the retail consumer. So Broadcom, Costco, after the market closes today. So basically today's trading session, wild. After the market closes, we got two important earnings to pay attention to. Before the market opens tomorrow, we have an unemployment report. And then midday tomorrow, we're going to have something from both the chairman of the Fed, and also on top of that, we're going to get a speech from the president of the United States. I don't know how else to explain this, but it's just going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, remember, this is 100% free, always has been, always will be. Every single weekend to your email inbox, I send you this newsletter, mattkohrs.locals.com. I break down the previous week, what to look forward to in the upcoming week, all the major earnings. I try to highlight the ones that I think you're going to care the most about. Then all the major macroeconomic events. I actually need to add the Trump one that was just announced yesterday. I give you the seasonality of each individual day. I do want to let you know that today is dominated by the bears, but it's not absurdly bearish. Over the past 27 years, the bulls have won it 48% of the time, so basically 50-50. But the issue here is that when the bears do win it, they win it at bigger size, which is why the profit factor for the bull side is so low. Here's a look at the hypothetical equity curve you would have if you bought at open, sold at close on the S&P 500 futures market on this day. So for about 2 decades, it kind of did nothing. But in the past couple of years, it actually got smoked. Now, would I say that this is really indicative of what's going to be happening today? My gut is telling me that's going to be far more related to the news and any surprise announcements of if we're bullish or bearish today. I just wanted you to know the seasonality. And also for tomorrow, the seasonality is slightly bearish. Now, on that, let's see where we're at in pre-market. Pre-market is getting worse. All right, let's break down these levels because we have about 5 minutes. So as we do every single day, these are the key levels, key technical levels and key option levels of the day. So what you need to know is right now we're opening around 577. Roughly that's right where my cursor is, all the way down here. We closed out at 5842 and we are opening many points below it. So about 70 points below it, 80 points below it, depends on where we actually open, but right around 770, which is right out of the gate, a very interesting level to open at, because guess what? Captain Condor is back, and Captain Condor happened to be basing that position at 5775. We are coming out of the gate with Captain Condor already being tested. So right here, a massive position of 20,000 contracts. 20,000 contracts right here for the put side at 5775, and then another, how many? 19.6 thousand all the way up here at 5,900. So right out of the gate, before when I started this off and I was like, dude, we're already opening up at a key support level. This is the key support level. So if this player gets cracked, and right here there are some long puts at 5765, man, it could go bad, and it could go bad quick. So like I said, we're opening up already at what I thought was going to be like my second bearish target, but really now we're just opening up at support. So this is how I think it's really going to end up setting up, is if we recover, okay, I'm looking for a pushback to 5,800, 5,810. We have some option structure there. So this 10-point region, obviously, if we get above that, then I'll be looking at kind of this junk between yesterday's close, the options level, and yesterday's high. So we have, unfortunately, it's an 18-point region. So this is, I guess, bullish target number one. This is bullish target number two. And if things get crazy like we did yesterday where it just started to pump, of course, I do have these upper limits, and the other side of Captain Condor is up here at 5,900. So I just wanted to call that out. But since we're scheduled to open pretty low, it's probably more useful for me to talk about these levels. So we're scheduled to open up once again right at Captain Condor's put credit side. So that is roughly here. Out of the gate, I'm going to be curious of like, okay, do we base here and bounce and take out 5,800 and then get the upside gap fill to yesterday's close? Totally possible. On the flip side, if we get smashed, well, my first target to the downside from here would then be yesterday's low at 5,742. And if you're looking for the SPY level, that would be 573 flat, which is about $3 and change or $2 and change from where we are right now. So past that, things can get bad, and they could get bad pretty quickly. Just to go over some of these levels with you, just of where we're seeing. Obviously, this is the put credit spread. This is the call credit spread. This is today's open interest. This was the open interest change from last night's market close till now. They executed the trade right after the market closed. 5,800, we're already on the south side of that. What I find interesting is there was quite a bit of volume playing the 5710s. So I want to throw that out there. This is kind of like a D-Day-esque scenario of how bad could bad get. 5710. So I don't even have it marked out right now just because I didn't think that the pre-market was going to get this bad. But 5710, I'll put it up on the chart just in case there is a vomit out of the gate. There's a lot of interest at that level. I mean, you can see the giant volume spike right there. We're all the way down here, 5,700. So that and they're expecting a 60-point move today. Today's going to be wild. So let me get this up. All right. So here's how we're scheduled to open here. We're opening at support. I don't know if we're going to bounce or break. If we do bounce, watch just above 5,800. If we do break, watch yesterday's low. If yesterday's low doesn't hold, then I'm watching the 10-point region between 5,700, 5,710. Now, if we do bounce all the way up to 5,800, 5,810, once again, resistance, then I'm looking for this 18-point region. So really, we're right where my cursor is. This is where we're opening. Let's look for either the bounce and the break with these associated levels. I am not married to the bull camp or the bear camp. I'm going to play whatever I believe the trend is. I do admit, opening up, things are looking pretty bearish. Bearish. The 5, the 10, the 30, and the 4 hour on ES is all bearish. The 5, the 10, the 30, the 4 hour on NQ, it's all bearish. Right now, the price trend is clearly bearish, but what's about to happen in less than a minute is the pit session is going to start, and we're going to be able to track what's going on with these option players to see if they're going to come in right at this support level, and basically to see if Captain Condor's put credit side actually gets saved, or if the market wants to absolutely punish them. I do not know who's right or wrong. No one knows who's right or wrong. All you can do is play the levels accordingly. And on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. As I always do, I'm just going to be sitting here and waiting more than even normal today, because I don't know if this support's going to hold. We opened right above it. They're trying to crack it. Maybe they're going to make a quick run to yesterday's low. Let's go to the 1 minute just so we can kind of see it a little bit better. Feel free to screenshot these levels. Feel free to honestly do whatever you want. But we're right at this key level. If it holds, I'm looking for a bounce up here. If it breaks, I'm looking for a push to yesterday's close or yesterday's low, and below that, I have even deeper targets at 5,700. So these are the closest levels I'm looking for. I am never, ever really going to be basing a strong trend or movement or anything like that on the first minute of data, the first 5, the first 10. The more data you have, the better off you're going to be. I really do not think it is advantageous to you to be slinging trades right out of the gate. You just don't know which way things are going to break, especially when you're opening up at a key level. You open up at a key level, you're either bouncing or you're breaking. But to try to predict which way it is, you might as well just flip a coin. So I'm going to be waiting for this. Obviously, I have the options trend for all of you guys. Let me reload it. All right. Let me get all this ready for all of us today. All right, we do have some of this. Dude, if we snap the low from 2 trading sessions ago, that could get gnarly. The Qs are not looking so good out of the gate. Bitcoin's holding just below 90. MSTR, I'm looking for this breakout above 316. Palantir, I'm looking for the breakout above 94. Netflix, ooh, I liked Netflix yesterday, but it's showing some weakness this morning. Same thing with Meta. I liked the push up there. I thought it was going to fall through, but everything's showing a little bit of weakness this morning. Tesla might just be continuing with this overall downward trend. There's a downside gap up to 255. Coins holding. Broadcom is getting hit heading into its earnings. Remember, trading Broadcom today is a tough one just because we're waiting for the earnings after the market closes. So the price movement on this one today doesn't really bother me one way or another. I'm just honestly going to wait for that earnings. So interesting setup thus far. Looks like the first 3 minutes have not been so good on SPX. We might be snapping this. Like I said, my first target is about 15 points away to 5742. That is yesterday's low. Obviously, I haven't marked up on the SPY right here. I'll move that up just so you guys could see it a little bit better. Similar situation on the Qs. Remember, we have that data from Edgeful that when you crack the low from the previous trading session, there's about a 76, 77% chance that you end the day somewhere below the previous close. So once again, let me just be clear on this. When you crack the previous session's low, you have about a 76, 77% chance of closing somewhere below the previous day's close. It could be by a cent or it could be by $100. But those are the odds for both the SPY and the Qs. And then the same thing, but in inverse, if you crack the previous day's high, then you have about a 75% chance of closing the day out above the previous day's close. So when you take out the previous session's high or low, it's actually very, very insightful of what like you could expect for the market close. Not necessarily a linear play that's advantageous for you, but pretty solid with respect to like the world of like selling premium. So waiting for this data. Why is this data not loading? I'm not getting the data. All right, I'm flying a little bit dark right now. Which means I need to look at GEXBot. All right, let's get this up. All right, no, I would like the... All right, let's spread this out a little bit. Actually, I only need one of these. And then what we're going to do, net gex. Well, that's just dropping. Net aggregate. All right. Well, this is looking weird today. All right. So the teal is the aggregate. The puts are going to be in the pink, and then the green are the calls. So, all right. We have our general trend of which way things are flowing today. Aggregate, dex. Nope. Aggregate dex. I kind of just wanted to take off the individual one, but all right, we could watch this to see how things are going. I'm not seeing the biggest movement. Someone must have closed out puts right at open, just locking in their gain. So looks like sizable amount of puts closed out. But we'll be able to track this and just kind of see what's going on. I don't think that we necessarily have the most insight quite yet. All I have are really these levels. It does seem like we're not quickly bouncing back above 5775. So looks like 5742 might be an interesting target. Once again, that is yesterday's low. But I need more time. I need more data. I'm not going to really be doing anything too early. I do find it interesting how many of these are already being closed out. I do. So calls are getting dropped. Oh, someone just bought a large amount of puts right here. That someone literally just bought a huge amount of puts. What in the world? So puts got closed out, but now they're getting repurchased and they're just kind of going haywire over here. Interesting. While calls are just slowly but surely getting sold. Someone is aggressively getting into puts in real time right now. I'm actually surprised that we're not seeing more of an overreaction in price. Look at that right here. Just puts being bought, while calls are being sold, dropping the delta. Remember, as delta goes down, that's more bearish. As delta goes up, that's more bullish. So you could, instead of focusing on the red and the green, you could just look at this teal one. The teal one is the net situation. So someone locked in some puts right here up until about 9:35. And then since then, maybe the same player, maybe different players, maybe a combo of the both are once again getting into puts. So we're seeing things get a little bit cracked. The VIX is up to 24. Golly. Oh, I didn't show you this. Oops, hang on. We don't need that. Right here, I haven't traded anything yet. Actually, speaking of that, I don't even have my trade copier. I need to get my trade copier ready. Thanks for the reminder, team. Team. I have not traded anything today. As I am attempting to do, I'm trying to keep myself more disciplined, keep the train on the track, don't do anything stupid, respect my risk. I'm trying to do all those good classic things that winning traders apparently do. So I have the trade copier up. All right, I think we're looking good. Let me move this over and we could zoom in a little bit. But just to show you, obviously you could see above my head that I haven't fired off any trades yet. Just kind of waiting. Did we ever? We didn't hit it. We kind of got close. I care a little bit more about the option levels in terms of being a magnet for price to go to rather than what we're seeing for like previous lows and highs. But I do like to mark out the lows and highs because of the other associated just like odds and statistics with it. But I don't know. From the last two trading sessions, we've seen really hardcore intraday reversals. So I'm attempting to not get caught up in one of those because I think we do have the potential makings for a large reversal. Now, I don't know which way the reversal is going to be. It kind of depends on what the opening session is. But I mean, if you look at how things have been playing out here, let me bring up the 15-minute. Yesterday we sold off and then starting at 11:45, huge reversal. The day before that, we sold off to 11:30, huge reversal. The day before that, we actually opened up somewhat strong, huge reversal to the downside. There's just like so much whipsaw. And actually that one was crazy because we were weak. Then we popped. Then the very next day had a huge drop. Like it's just whipsaw. Even on Thursday, the 27th here, nothing consolidating, huge drop. So like, There's big moves every single day, which is why I truly believe you don't need to rush yourself into a trade. Like if you are absurdly patient and just wait for that perfect setup where you're like, yep, I like this risk, I like this reward, I'm willing to take a shot. I think you're going to be golden at that point. Golden. You just kind of have to patiently wait for it. We're seeing a little bit of a bid come in. The Qs are actually trying to take out their intraday high. Like I said, we opened right at major support. If we can recapture this 5775, that will put this player, the put credit spread is at 5775. So Captain Condor wants the market on SPX to close out either above 5775 or below 5900. Somewhere in this region is what Captain Condor is looking for. Right now, this lower leg is being pressured. We are off, as you can see, by about 15 points. So they are that player, whether it's one player or a group of players, are very much hoping for a push at least up to here. And ideally, they'd probably feel more comfortable like somewhere between 58.10 and 58.40. They probably will love it in this region. So we're going to watch that. We're going to pay attention. The Q's made a new intraday high. MSTR is getting a little bit of a bounce. PLTR is getting hit. Netflix is getting hit. Meta's not doing anything. Nvidia's not doing anything. Tesla got hit, but since then, not really doing anything. Coin and MSTR, so crypto-related things are showing a good move. Broadcom's getting hit. Remember, earnings coming out. ASML had a decent pop. Microsoft had a decent pop. Apple had it. So two of the biggest stocks in the world, they actually just got a pop at 936. So we're at this awkward point, as it's been lately, where we're just getting a lot of conflicting information. When two of the biggest stocks in the world are getting a pop, like, okay, should we really be getting hit that much? So what I'm kind of looking for is either a recapture and a hold of 5775 right here, or a failure of yesterday's low at 5742. Until then, I think for my personal trading style, I just don't have that much of an edge. I don't know who's dominant right now. All I could see is there was a little bit of fear and panic right at market open. And since then, we've done nothing. And that's with respect to the overall market. The Qs have been a little bit stronger, probably because of that pop in Apple, probably because of that pop in Microsoft. So on a relative basis, I mean, the Qs already took out their intraday high right there at 939. The SPY didn't. Man, if this fails, it might be a good short opportunity. Oh, it might be a good short opportunity. Did I just miss the short of the day? I wonder if that was the short of the day right there. I wonder. You'd be short around 290. You'd already be up 30 points. You'd already be up $600. Oh, was it the short of the day or not? Is it a fake out? I don't know. I feel like something about today just is really, really telling me more patience than normal. I can't really perfectly explain why. It's just my spidey senses are tingling. My spidey senses are tingling that today is a day that you really want to be confident. So I obviously haven't done shit yet, but even that, like, is it a fake out? The Qs are trying to get going, but the SPY is getting slaughtered. Has this uploaded? Here's a look. Oops. Let me reload that. All my data is a little bit funky. Yeah, right here, the aggregate DEX, the delta right here. Watch the teal is the major one. We're hitting a low of the day. So the SPY is kind of getting hit. SPY is definitely this is the SPX flow. But the Qs are trying to bounce back, dude. Confusing. MSTR trying to get back above 300. Microsoft is doing its thing. Apple's doing its thing. Two of the biggest stocks in the world. They're not really getting slaughtered. Broadcom did get slaughtered, trying to bounce a little bit back. Coin's trying to go. Tesla's doing nothing. Nvidia looking a little bit of alive. Meta doing nothing. Netflix got hit. Palantir getting hit. MSTR's taken off. I like that. Microsoft. Apple's almost green. Apple's trying to go green when the SPY is down by 1.5% and the Qs are down by 1.8. That's impressive. There's a battle going on right now. An absolute battle going on. When I see so much just confusion, granted, it just pure price trend is bearish, very evidently. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour bearish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour bearish. Price trend is clearly bearish. Options trend, it is bearish, but we're also bearish. It is cracking that level. I still believe it comes back to this, my original thesis of, do we recapture 5775 or do we crack yesterday's low at 5742? Until then, we're kind of like in the no man's land of waiting to see who's in control, who's driving today. Who is driving today? What time is it? It's 9:44. That's another structural breakdown right here that we just had. Another structural breakdown we just had. Do I want to take advantage of this? If I'm wrong, I'm risking about $1,000. Man, every single time I think that the NQ is like snapping some sort of trend line, it comes right back up to the trend line right there. Like, I was really tempted to go short, as we saw in the first trend line, and then boom, bounces right back. Dude, it's a whippy, messy day today. A whippy, messy day. All right, once again, this is the NQ contract. That's what I'm trading on, my Apex, my take profit. Just kind of watching this to see. I know there's quite a bit of pressure to the downside, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but something about today tells me that one of the groups is going to get horribly, horribly trapped. I don't know if it's the bull camp. I don't know if it's the bear camp, but because I believe someone's going to get trapped, I'm obviously just trying to do my best to not be on that side. So I'm trying to just really wait. Just wait till 10 a.m. Yeah, I'm going to wait. I mean, it's 9:46. Of course, I don't know if the breakdown, like, I don't mind waiting for those times, but if the breakdown's coming at now, you got to kind of take the trade when it's setting up. Waiting for an arbitrary time, I think, could be good in terms of a filter of, like, these are the times that I do trade, but, like, if the setup's there a couple minutes before. You don't have to be like, no, I'm just waiting to them for no reason. Like, that's what backtesting is really going to tell you. Are we actually going to crack? It's so incredibly indecisive if it doesn't know what it wants to do. What's it look like over here? Yeah. We came down to 46. Remember, yesterday's low is 42. Some buyers stepping in a little bit, not the most inspiring bounce or sell-off. I think right now it's kind of confusing to be on either side. I mean, obviously the SPY short looks a little bit stronger, just lower highs, lower lows. Actually a pretty easy trend line to pay attention to for a potential reversal. I would just right there, that's the SPY reversal line. MSTR, we talked about that already this morning and in the update video. I love that it's recapturing 300. Apple, Microsoft's looking decent. ASML, Broadcom, AVGO slowly but surely climbing up. Coin's doing nothing. Tesla, Nvidia, Meta, Netflix is getting hit. Palantir is getting hit to 85. MSTR is looking strong. And so is Microsoft. So these are the stronger looking names. And I don't see anything necessarily massively vomiting right now. Watching for the SPY to react to this trend line. Maybe we're getting an early bounce, but really comes back down to 5775, which just to remind you guys, especially if you're just joining now, 5775 is the line for this put credit spread down here for giant Captain Condor. It's huge. It's 20,000 contracts. That's fucking massive. This is a multi-million dollar position. So that's why I'm so fascinated with this level to see if they could push it back up to it. So that's kind of what I'm watching. I was almost taking this breakdown trade, but it had one fake out breakdown, two fake out breakdowns. This might be the third fake out breakdown. So kind of watching that. Obviously, I have a little bit of a trend set up here. You know what? Let's just make this more dramatic. Everything I see going on today, it's just screaming to me. Attempt to have absurd patience, like unreasonable amounts of patience. So kind of watching this structure. I mean, even how did we set this one up today? 9. The first, I mean, the impulse was clearly to the downside, but I wonder if we're going to be able to reverse and just take out the intraday high. So here, I'll mark out the intraday high and the intraday low. Intraday high, intraday low, intraday low, intraday high. So the SPY and the Qs kind of looking clearly different from each other. The Qs have been having more of just like range bound consolidation, while the SPY's been getting a bit more hit. MSTR is the exciting bullish one. Netflix is getting hit. Broadcom's getting hit. MSTR is going. MSTR. All right. Is the SPY trying to get some sort of breakout? We're just waiting, dude. Consolidation hell. Consolidation hell. Oh, the question is, if it does start to break out here, do I want to take it? It's kind of against my system. It's kind of against my strategy. It really is. But maybe not the worst trade ever. Even that, are we just getting another fake out? Look, it tried to get going, smashed. Like, same thing with the breakdowns too. Market, hyper indecisive. All right, we're about 20 minutes into the day. The SPY's there. The Qs are there. Where is the order flow? Puts are getting closed out, but so are calls. But right here, you could see ever since 9:45, puts are getting closed out. All right, I'm taking a stab at it. I don't necessarily love this trade. For me, this is more of I would say a C plus trade setup. This really isn't even in the category of the A or the B, just because I see so many fake outs, and I figure we have already had 3 fake outs. What's the chance of having 4 fake outs in a row, you know? So I'm taking a stab at this potential trend reversal, with the major sentiment being I do believe that SPX is going to want to revisit 5775 because it is such a key level. For those of you who want the rough SPY level, that is actually we're kind of, the SPY made a new intraday high, but SPX didn't, which kind of shows you that there is a slight difference between the SPY and SPX. So really, I'm looking for another 5-point move on SPX, which is about 50 cents on the SPY. So what did we just hit? We hit 576. So basically call it 576.50, roughly. I'm looking to see how it does react to right here. Which is about 5 more points, 6 more points. So yeah, 576.50. SPY new intraday high, Q's new intraday high, MSTR is pumping. I called that out to you guys yesterday. I'm actually playing that myself, but let's see how this goes. I'm attempting to play the trendline breakout here at 950. I'm attempting to play the trendline breakout here at 950 on the NASDAQ as well. Like I said, this is not my bread and butter setup. Oh, 66. I do need to move my risk up though. All right, moving my risk up a little bit more aggressively than I normally do because like I said, this is not my like major type of setup trade. But I'm currently long 20 NASDAQ contracts. You can see the trade over here. This is my first trade of the day. Should I just set a break even now and just, hey, if it runs, it runs. If not, break even? That's not my worst idea. It's just so close right now. Like even just the probability. You know what I'll do is on a fresh high, if we take out whatever this is, 44, a fresh intraday high, I will aggressively move the stop up just because it's not, like I said, I'm kind of doing a counter trend today. Today's like setting up to be a bit of a strange day. So right here, if we could just make a new intraday high at that point, I'll set this break even. And if I catch the runner, I catch the runner, but I do need to minimize my risk because just such an awkward day. And I'm doing something that is not necessarily like the trade setup that I'm known for. So you might as well, when you know you're doing funky things, you might as well protect yourself. So I'm looking for that new intraday high, which is seemingly not coming. All right, let's mark these out now. All right, we'll set up some alerts. New intraday highs, new intraday lows, new intraday highs, new intraday lows. And we're going to see how this goes. My trade is roughly break even. But trending against me. I'm not liking this clock. Might be a little fake out breakout here. Barely made the new intraday high. Now it's gunning for me. Gunning for my position. Come on, turn it around, Tonto. MicroStrategy, pretty solid. I mean, it had a push from 292 all the way up to 308. Microsoft making a new intraday high. Apple did push for the first 7 minutes, kind of giving it back. ASML getting clocked recently. Broadcom climbing up. Coin climbing up. Tesla doing nothing. NVIDIA trying to get going, but just got hit. Meta kind of doing nothing. Netflix got hit, now going flat. Palantir got hit, maybe a reversal. MSTR is clearly the strongest one. Like I said, also, I'm liking the intraday movement on MSFT. Definitely a large cap. I mean, it's a top 3 company, top 2 company trying to lead us to the promised land. So let's see if there's a recovery. I'm hoping what we're seeing right now at 954 is the first higher low of the day. So the fact that we made a new intraday high on the SPY and the Qs says, okay, potential market structure shift. But what you have to base it off of is where the next low is. We know we have a higher high, but do we have a higher low? I'm hoping that the higher low is being put in right now on both the SPY and the Qs, but obviously we're going to need more time for that to play out. And like that, little trend line test, I'm back in the green. As I said, my trade plan right now, I'm giving away my trade plan. As we take out the new intraday high, I move my stop up to break even, and then I'm fishing. I'm fishing. Maybe do I waste bait? That's possible. I'm not necessarily going to catch anything. Or I could catch the old white whale. You don't know. That's the fun thing about like doing a trend following trade is you don't know if you actually snag something good. So what I'm looking for is to just get myself into that position. I'm hoping for the intraday high without it pulling back all the way to here. And I just want to move my stop basically up to 314. And if I could catch a runner, I catch a runner. And if it comes back and knocks me out for break even, that's life, you know? That's life. But I thought that pop right there was actually going to be bringing us back up. I guess not. I guess, come on. You could do it. Hold 300. You could do it, Tonto. You could do it, Tonto. Come on, buddy. Hold. Not looking the best, I'm going to be honest. Not. Come on. You can do it, Tonto. Oops. Get back up there. I just want to see it take out 44. Nope. Instead, it is running for my stop. Well, that doesn't make me feel so good. Yep. It's gunning for me. Stop. Stop right there. Bounce. You shall not pass. Go back up. Go back up. Go. Stop selling. Just go. No red. No red. No. Stay away. Stay away. Stay away from me. Get away. Get away from me. Get out of here. Get out of here. Leave me alone. Go. Get the fuck away. Go. No, stop. Just go back up. Go back up. You stop that. You listen to me and you stop that. You stop that right now. Who taught you this? You get out of there. Get out of there. You stop it with this bullshit. You stop it. You stop it right now. You stop. We talked about this. The fucking market's embarrassing me in front of my friends right now. Get out of there. Hey, go on and get. Go on and get. Get out of there. Get out of there. What are you doing? Get out. Get out of here. Leave me alone. Fucking the market. The market. Can you believe it? Your dad voice needs some practice. Go on, get out of here. Oh, man. I really thought I was going to hit. And honestly, it's still, statistically, this is not looking so good for me. Stop it. Come on. Not cool, dude. Not cool whatsoever. Bounce it. Bounce. We're right hugging that trend line again. SPY doesn't know what it wants to do. It's right there. MSFT going flat. MSTR giving a little bit of this gain back. Dude, bounce out of here. Hold. Make this the low of the day. Save yourself. Buddy. We're holding 56, finding some support right at 50. Pretty much 50 is going to be key. There are options at this 57.50, but we also have yesterday's low. So not much of a surprise. We bounce roughly somewhere in between. Come on. Go on, get. No. Wrong way. Get away from me. Get away from my stop. Oh. I'm a little bit nervous of the turn of the hour, which is in 5 seconds. Just because we do see some funkiness at the turn of the hour. So I'm hoping it doesn't randomly just smash me out like it's about to. No, get away from me. No, tagged me out. All right. It was worth a shot. Did not pay. The turn of the hour, the 10 a.m., I guess was, dude, actually, do I go the other way now? The last thing I want to do is get whipsaw, but it is actually having a legit trend line breakdown. I put my stop right on the other side of the trend line just in case there was a breakdown. So I picked that level for a reason, but knowing my luck, it's just going to rip right out of here. Oh, we're right in that zone. Right in that. Oh, look at that. Seriously? Seriously? I told you, folks, that's just my luck. Just my luck. No fucking way. No way. I'd be back to break even. Dude, it barely got me out. Oh, I guess I could have given it a little bit more room. That's frustrating. That is, some would say, beyond frustrating. But That's trading for you. If you let things like that like knock you off your game, you're just going to get demolished. Going to get demolished. That is infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. I would literally be back to break even. It barely wicked me out, but yeah, that's trading. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. You can't cry over it. You can't cry over it. All right, what's happening? We almost got going again, but not really. But kinda, but then also not really. We're really just... We didn't really take out these highs. The SPY just hugging this trend line. Doesn't know what it wants to do. We're still in this no man's land of, are we going up to 775 or are we going down to 5742? We kind of sold off minute 1 and then 2 and 3. We've just been here sideways. Just bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Here's a look at the flow. Let me reload that. Is this coming in yet? Is this coming in yet? So I'm seeing puts continually being closed out, and I see the call selling has stopped. So someone sold a lot of calls at 948. They're kind of selling them right now. Puts appear to be closed out still, though. Do I want to take this risk? Re-enter at that same cost? I could re-enter. I could risk that low. But do I think the breakout's going to be happening now? Yeah. All right. I'm going to try this breakout. Oh, we're going to try this breakout. Oh, I mean, this is just like an arbitrary level for me. The target, whatever. We'll have that up there. I care much more about the risk. All right. We're going to see attempt number 2. Attempt number 2. We're going to give it the old college try. See if I like what I'm looking for is I'm just trying to catch this pump up to 5775. All right, Q's new intraday high, SPY new intraday high. Dude, if I kept that initial position, I'd be up net 800 and I'd basically be done on the day. I'd probably be able to lock in 1,000 right about here and I'd be like, okay, cool, 20 grand. And I instead, unfortunately, just barely got wicked out. But as much as that's frustrating, you still have to have stops because on the flip side, what if it did crack and kept vomiting? That's how you lose an account. So as frustrating as that obviously is, it's still good trading. And then I swear, even like right now, like you're seeing in real time is like, if you stick to your good, consistent trading, I'm already back to break even, folks. I'm already back to break even. I'm already like, it's okay. In fact, actually, when you run that much in your favor, I definitely need to de-risk a little bit. All right. It's okay. I know in the moment, taking the L, taking the loss, admitting you're wrong is painful. It's hurtful. No one wants to do it. It sucks. We've all been there. But if you stick to this good methodology time and time again, you're going to then be able to take advantage of the next opportunity to get back exactly to where you should be. So you can't get so hell-bent on the success or failure of one individual trade. What you should be just obsessively focused on is just good decision-making all the time. Are you making a good decision? Yes or no? If you can't be, I find that a lot of retail traders look at this game as oh, okay, it was a good decision based on if I made money or not. No, okay, if I held on to this initial one, I'd be up a lot of money. I would have never taken the loss, but that's not necessarily a good decision because it's not a good decision to not be protecting yourself. So I think as soon as you really almost trick your mind, gaslight your mind into thinking, no, the sign of a successful trader is a person who's making good decisions time and time again. It's not just the last trade made or lost money. You can lose money on a very good trade. You could also win money on a very stupid trade. So just to be measuring your success or failure off profit or loss, no. What you should care about is profit or loss in the long term over a series of many trades. And to be net profitable in a series of long trades, it's a series of you making good decisions time and time and time again. Speaking of good decision making, I'm going to move my stop to, yeah, I should. All right. Free play, lottery play. I'm not losing money on this individual trade. My stop is break even. I'm praying for this VWAP breakout, but like I said, you guys can see I'm in at 32 and my stop is at 33. So no matter what on this individual trade, I am not losing money. And the reason I did that is because I know I'm long on the south side of VWAP, which is generally not a good decision. I'm being a little bit ballsy with playing for a VWAP breakout. So because of that, I need to protect my downside even more, especially through the lens of the fact that I already had a losing trade on the day. But yes, I could get out right now and I would be net profitable. I locked in a loss of $1,000 and my current trade is up $1,000. So this is basically, VWAP is basically my break-even level. So I'm hoping we get a bit of a continuation to show you how this looks. Like I said, my target was 5775. That played out perfectly. Then from here, if we actually legitimately get going, I'm looking for this 10-point region. This is my bullish target number 2. Obviously, number 1 was the one we already laid out to you, the recapture of the put credit spread from the iron condor. Number 2 is all the way up here, this 10-point region between 5,800 and 5,810. This is my profit target 2. That's what I'd be looking for. Obviously, if it gets rejected, if this is kind of a fake out thing, let's just rewatch 5775. Remember, I am never married to the bullish side or to the bearish side. I am here to play whatever I believe the trend is and then pay attention to the key levels. And that's apparently what is happening for me. Apparently what is happening. I mean, I know everyone and their brother was telling you to be bearish today, but I didn't think the bearish play was the right side of the trend. And obviously, I guess putting my money where my mouth is, it kind of worked out. It kind of worked out. All right, I'm moving my stop up. I'm now 20 points. So no matter what, I'm going to be making $400 on this trade. So no matter what, the worst case scenario for me is just to be down 600 per account. So no matter what, and I'm currently up on this trade, as you can see, about 1,800. So I'm up net 8. So this is the current trade. This is the locked in trades, and this is the net situation. So what matters the most is the column all the way to the right here. But then this is the unrealized from the current open trade. So yeah, I got a little unlucky here at 10. I kind of knew that going into it, but you got to protect your downside. You got to protect your downside. So I moved my stop up. Like I said, I hope this can hold VWAP. I know it is common to not break and run on the first time, so I wouldn't be surprised if we come back and retest. It's not a guarantee, but that's just a lot of the times how things get traded at VWAP is you don't really smoothly break to the upside or to the downside on the first attempt. So I'm getting mentally prepared for the high likelihood that we get a pullback somewhere to 388. Maybe it holds 400. That is a key psychological level that maybe people are going to be playing off of. So I'm going to be patient. All right, obviously new intraday highs. I took advantage of that pop. I called it on this trend line breakout. It was messy. Obviously, it ended up being a bit better, closer to 10, but the trend line breakout did end up being a beautiful trend of the day. Microsoft looking good here. All the way up to 400. You have MicroStrategy at 312. Just to let you guys know, obviously right now with the heightened VIX, I find it better to be swinging premium, long premium rather than selling premium, which is why that's been my focus. But MSTR, I called this out in the Discord to everyone yesterday. I'm currently up 28%, up about 3K on my MSTR play. The other ones aren't looking the best right now, but who knows? Who knows? All I can tell you is I'm excited for the market to get up here to see really what things are going to look like. I'm just hoping to not have to fuck around with this VWAP failure. Come on, bounce off of VWAP. I got unlucky on the first trade of the day. Can I get... This is roughly my break even on the account. Come on, save yourself at... Let's get that classic VWAP pop. We ran all the way up to VWAP. We overshot it. We're retesting. Now this is that's the real test. Do we fail and do we sell? Which is why I have my stop right here. Or is support going to come in and we're going to bounce right off of it? I don't know. I'm prepared for the worst, hence my stop, but I'm obviously hoping for the best. So I'm hoping we get that very classic bouncing off of the volume weighted average price. If you guys don't know what that is, that's basically the average price that participants are in the market at. It's generally thought to be bullish above it, generally thought to be bearish below it. More than that, I could tell you statistically, it ends up being resistance and support depending on the side you're from. So we ran up to it, got rejected, ran up to it, got rejected, ran up, fought around, broke above it, sold off, maybe it's now support. It's just a level that there's a lot of just market equilibrium there. So it ends up being like kind of a choppy mess. So like I said, I'm being a little bit ballsy by trying to be long below it, hoping for the breakout. Part of my reason, I'm trying to watch this closely while still explain. Part of my reason is I do believe that the SPY SPX is going to have a natural target up here at 5,800. So I think, oh man, maybe another 15-point move all the way up. That would be pretty nice to be long NQ as that happens. So I'm hoping that we could take out this high at 27, and then maybe I could aggressively move my stop up to somewhere around like, I don't know, 83 or something like that, but we're not quite getting that follow through that would make me comfortable doing that quite yet. So anyway, I'm still watching that target. SPY, Qs, MSTR is looking good. Microsoft's looking good. Palantir's coming back. Netflix, everything's actually, Meta, I would like a bigger bounce on Meta. Nvidia, everything's like slowly grinding to the upside now. Here, let's drop it to the 3 minute. Let's drop it to the 3 minute. Come on. All right. 5 minutes trying to go bullish, 10 minutes testing, 5 minutes trying to go bullish, 10 minutes testing. Once again, everything that I'm seeing is saying that my trade is a little bit ballsy. As I alluded to, it was more of like a C plus setup, maybe a C setup, just because like I was basically saying, hey, I think the trend's going to change now rather than waiting for the trend to actually develop. So based on that logic, maybe there's better reasoning for me to move my stop up even right now. I don't necessarily want to throw in the white towel because, yeah, maybe it does just break and maybe we get that rip on SPX right all the way up to 5,800. But I could protect myself a little bit more just because it's trying to hold VWAP. It really, really is. It's attempting to hold. But we're just... I mean, I don't know. We dipped right here. My mind is saying maybe just move my risk up to this low. What's that? 83? Yeah. All right. All right. My risk is up to this low at 1010, and that will pretty much make me break even on the day. It's a bit of an aggressive move. You could see it better here. Like it's not even that, like we try to get going. It's getting smacked right now. It's actually kind of coming for me, but I don't know. Like I have to think about the potential event that we don't break out and actually change trend right here. It's attempting to change trend. 30 minutes still bearish. This is bullish. It's attempting to change trend, but you don't ever really get that guarantee. I like that SPX is sitting pretty constant. But even that, it only takes one trader with size to come in and cause this to break down. So I'm watching that 10-10 low. The SPY just tried to get going. The 10-10 low. Oh, man, that's not even that far away. Like this could accidentally sneeze and knock me out. Which makes me like, should I be using 55 as my risk? I think if I didn't trade today already, like if this was my first trade, I would still be using 55. But the fact that I'm kind of playing catch up because of this initial loss is why I'm a bit more aggressive. And now I'm just trying to be a bit more hopeful that it doesn't come for me. Come on, bounce out of there. Bounce out of there. Just trying to do smart decision making for my risk management. That's exactly how I was able to pull myself out of that $450,000, $500,000 drawdown I had. I think in total it was around 500,000. The first day I lost 440, and then over the next 2 trading days I lost like another 60. So how I was able to run my account up, whatever, $1 million, lose 500 and then recover it. I was able to recover it by just like, as I alluded to before, an absurd obsession with my risk management. It had nothing to do with my sky high profit targets. It had everything to do with my aggressive risk management. And maybe I'll get lucky on this one that I'm not even going to have to sweat it. Maybe I'll get... every time it tries to get going to this upper bound, it just gets smacked awkwardly. Awkwardly smacked. Come on. Something just got... SPY new intraday high. Qs not quite yet. The Qs have just been going sideways. Tesla attempting to recover. Nvidia, everything, well, Meta's not. Everything got hit up until about 940 and then it is trying to get going on the day. trying to. Coin and MSTR haven't. All right, let's go. Let's go. So on that push there, I was actually up net 1,000. 32. Yeah, right. That intraday high that we just hit, that we're roughly at right now, that's me up 100 points, up about 2K on the trade. But since I lost 1,000, it would be only whatever I'm up on the trade. Obviously, you have to subtract 1,000 from it from my first trade where I just got unlucky. I am hoping in a perfect scenario, like where my mind is at. Well, first of all, come on, get us some follow through. Don't give us that fake out. Uh-oh. In a perfect scenario, I'm done after this on the day. The perfect scenario for me is I can ride this trend as long as the trend is seemingly intact, and then I'm done here. Really what I want to do, 34. Well, I just need this follow through a bit more. What did we hit? We hit 34 on that and then quickly got smacked by about 30 points. Unfortunately, is this coming for me? What I would like to see is us pushing that intraday high just so I can move my stop up ever so slightly to ensure that I'm at worst case scenario break even on the day. That's what I'm looking for. Right now, I'm carrying a little bit of risk. Like if it were to come all the way back down, it would be like slightly off. Like I would have a baby red day, but all right, calm, cool, collected. I just want to ride the trend as much as the trend is intact. 5 minute and 5 minute is now going bullish. 10 minute is still testing. We're going to find out in 2 minutes if we're closing above or below. Same thing on the NQ, 2 minutes to see if we're actually reversing. The 30 minutes still bearish. The 30 minutes still bearish. But I see choppiness up until about 10 a.m. And then on those 10 a.m. reports, we're getting that nice breakout to the upside. Like I said, bullish target number 1 this morning was a recapture of 775. Bullish target number 2 is this 10-point region. Don't be surprised if we get chopped up in here. This 10-point region, we're coming up on my next target, which actually means that my position is looking pretty darn good right now. This run, I'm up about 2.5K, so 1.5 net, which means I'm going to move my stop up. Literally right as soon as I move my stop up, it gets clocked. Seriously. Man, the longer that this choppiness and craziness goes on, my mind is battling between two things. I could just take my $1,000 net on the day. I could take my 20K and move on with my life. Or am I just being like impatient and saying, because like I'm seeing all this choppiness and I'm seeing that I'm net green, which is like, dude, when you're net green and you're expecting like a crazy day, my mind's all over the place on what I should be doing. All right. We do have like seemingly though another 9 points to go on SPX. Like I am I getting out right now just because I'm being antsy in my pants, you know, got some ants in my pants, when in reality, why not just wait for I have these levels for a reason, so why not play the levels? I'm just going to feel really, really stupid if it randomly pulls back right now, knocks me out, and then rips to that level, especially when I could conclude the day exactly at this moment up net $20,000. Of course I would love it where we just pop off, we rip right up to 5,800. Cool. We have a little bit of a pullback. I get out on that and then I move on. Oh, and I guess to clarify, just because I'm like really harping on the importance of risk management, I did move my stop up. No matter what, I'm break even on the day. I'm only risking at this point how much profit. I'm not actually risking going red because my stop is pretty much right at that level of, is it right at that level? Yeah. No matter what, I'm going to be slightly green because I'm in at 32. My stop's, 58 points. So yeah, that'll cover that. So if this were to randomly vomit right now, my worst case scenario is just break even. So I'm being a little bit loosey-goosey when it's all about like how much money I'm going for, but I try to be very stringent when like I'm in the red and with the risk. So like as long as I can get it like it's going right now, actually. Come on. I'm telling you guys, this is the zone. This is the 10-point zone we're going to. This is the zone. All right. I have a little bit of, I have the intraday low marked out. for no reason really, and I have a little bit of just a pullback. I'm just kind of, once again, trying to follow this trend up. Okay, so the 10-minute bar did close bullish. But really what I'm looking for, I don't know how to be more clear about this. I explained it before the market opened. I've been showing you my trades in real time. I'm showing you the money in real time. None of this is hidden. This isn't any Monday morning quarterbacking. I gave you my reasoning. I mean, you guys, you could have followed along pretty easily. But I'm up about $30,000 right now. Up about $30,000. Do I want to move my stop up to 23? I could just keep moving the stop. I'm kind of looking at this low that we just saw at 1019. Maybe a little something like that. So no matter what, so that's 90 points. So if I'm up 90 points, that's 1,800. So no matter what, I'm guaranteeing myself $700 of profit per account. No matter what. Worst case scenario, market vomits right now, based on my locked in loss and my unrealized gains, that would be, no matter what, $700 locked in, good to go. That's 14K. Worst case scenario is I make $14,000. If you're in a situation where your worst case scenario is you making $14,000, you're in a pretty good fucking sounding scenario. To me, this is how I trade them. Like, this is just what works for me. This is how I make the market work. It's what keeps my accounts growing. I'm not saying that the way I trade is the end all be all. I'm not saying it's the only way to be successful. I'm just letting you guys know this is how I find success. Oh, and by the way, obviously the accounts I'm trading on right now that I'm up net about 40 grand. Apex, shout out, 80% off, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. If you want to trade with someone else's money the way I am right now in front of all of you, these are all Apex accounts. So right now, Apex, use that code GOONIE, GOONIE, to get 80% off. I use the 50K accounts. You could use whatever size account you want. It's a sim to funding company. That basically just means that you take a test. If you pass the test, you go from eval to performance. As soon as you're trading on a performance account, if you do well, and obviously these are all the rules right here. Well, you can read the whole website, but you receive 100% of the first $25,000 per sub account. And when I say sub account, I have 20 of them. So I get the first 25K from each individual one, which the quick math on that is the first $500,000 is completely yours, no sharing. And then after that, you get into a 90-10 split with the company where you keep 90% and then the company keeps 10%. So once again, that's after you pass the eval. You go from eval to performance. When you trade well on the performance, that's when you can start requesting money out. Year to date from these accounts, I've requested out 200,000, but for the life of these accounts, I've requested out 240,000. And when I say I requested out, like, that money's in my bank account. I started these accounts on December 2nd. From December 2nd until now, they have sent me to my bank account $240,000. Like, $250,000 in my bank account from the start of December to this exact moment. And I actually can do another payout request tonight. So I might move those numbers up. I might take 10K and get it to 250 flat. We're getting a little bit of a pullback here though, Tonto. Should I just end it right here? Should I end it at 30K? Is today a 30K type of a day? But anyway, if you want to trade with someone else's money, it's a good way to minimize your own risk. I'm a huge, huge fan of it. Obviously, I've had quite a bit of success on it. I think you guys could as too, if you take it seriously. I mean, it's as difficult as normal trading is. So it's not like by any means a walk in the park. It's still like difficult because it's still trading. But anyway, you could get a fat discount right now, 80% off. Use that code GOONIE, GOONIE. That's how you get 80% off. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Hang on. Can you now request all of your profits? Yes, I can. I can because I've done 6 requests. So I could generally for the first 6, you're capped. The 50K accounts, you're capped at 2K per account. So you could take out 40K at a time, which is why my numbers went 40, 80, 120, 160, 200, 240. But after you get to 240, you're no longer capped. You could just take whatever money you want. So I theoretically could take out 800 grand. like today, which is just fucking nuts. Like, how insane is that? Like, literally, if I don't blow these accounts up, which I'm not going to because I already have the stop in. Is it coming for me? Yep. All right. Like I said, 800 locked in per account. That's about 16K, 15K. The exact number is $15,360 locked in. I tried to give it a chance to be a runner, but it just didn't run. But you could see all my accounts. I started all these accounts with 50K. I've taken out 12,000 from each one. So had I never done a payout request, each account would be at 103,000. So if you do the math on that, that's a 53K gain on 20 different accounts. So that's basically just over $1 million. So from December 2nd until this exact moment, I am up actually $1 million. Not year to date. Obviously, I started these December 2nd, but from the start of these accounts to this exact moment, based on this close, I am actually like locked in, confirmed, between payout requests and what's currently in the accounts, up about $1 million, a little over $1 million. And I've already taken $240,000 in payouts. So right now, if I wanted to, I could take out another I could take out like $750,000 tonight if I wanted to. Which, I don't know, maybe. Look at that. It's that pullback. I could have used VWAP. Anyway, I highly recommend checking out. I have had a blast on it. I don't want anyone to think it's absurdly easy because it's not. It's as difficult as normal trading is. It took me like a full year. I mean, you guys have been seeing me streaming this for a while. It was a journey, but getting onto the other side of the journey where I'm seeing that consistency, it's completely worth it. It's kind of like a lot of nothing, some success, some failure, some success, some failure. And then it's like something one day just clicks and it just takes off. And right now I'm definitely just on a heater. Between December and now, I've been on about like a pretty solid 2-month heater, and obviously it's been paying massively. Oh, ha 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 ha. Yeah, I could. What time is it? It's 10:30. So we sold off. I'm kind of just looking at the structure of this. I'm flying a little bit dark. We almost got up right here. When I said 5,800, we hit 57.98 and some change. All right, moving my stop up to this recent low. We're going to see if we could get this breakout. On a push of 500, I'm moving my stop to break even, taking all risk off the table. Actually, another thing I need to do today is these accounts. All right. I just want to make sure. Nope, that did not work. Why did that not work on these accounts? I was trying to trade these accounts. I just needed to get these scalp trades in, so I just traded these 5 take profits just because you have to trade for 5 days. Like, it's just part of the rule. So anyway, 95, 65, 65, 60, 65. Just doing a little bit of a very, as you saw, a super quick scalp trade. Nothing too special there. Really, I'm focusing on this other trade that I just threw on. Oh, we're going to see how this goes. It pulled back, put in a higher low, pumped up, came back. I saw it had a little bit of life here, right here at 1029. I'm hoping that this little bit of life just allows us to test the intraday high and we go from there. Obviously, maybe right, maybe wrong. I'm still looking for this test. We kind of undershot the first test here at 1023 by about a point. I'm still looking for us to get somewhere into this 10-point region. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. I'm hoping that we're not double topping. Things are maybe slowing down a little bit. All right. I mean, it's kind of easy peasy lemon breezies. We're just watching this. We're either from 1021 until now, we're in a little bit of a range of, we do have a higher low, but are we going to expand and keep pushing higher? So it's kind of either watching the break of the intraday high or the break of the 1027 low. That's the game. I don't know which way it's going to break. It's just kind of looking at the risk reward of this situation, but I'm still feeling pretty confident of this major option zone right here, this 10-point zone. Speaking of which, I could show you this. Well, first of all, I don't need that. Where are we at? All right. According to the delta pressure map, we are in negative gamma and negative delta, meaning price movement is very, very unstable. Let me reload this just to see what in the world is going on. We have this node. We have that node. All right. All right. All right. So the volume of stuff being traded right now, big node here at 5,800. Obviously, that's the closest noteworthy node, 5,800. Quite a few calls being played at that level. Some are long, some are short. It's not like all tilted in one direction. A little bit of longer calls at 5,795 could be interesting. Could be interesting. Huh. 53-point movement. They're still expecting we're pulling back a little bit here. So I'm still looking for this 10-point region. We popped up, we pulled back, we popped up. We haven't taken out that high. We haven't taken out that low. Kind of just in no man's land. Some people call it barcoding. I call it just consolidation. There's a gazillion different terms for the exact same thing. So just kind of waiting here. We could zoom in a little bit just to see, get real degenerate with it. Yeah, this is right here. We popped, made that high, pulled back, made a higher low, popped up. If you want, like as a scalp trader or something like that, I was going to say you could look at this trend line breakout that we're testing right there, because we know the overall trend coming into this is bullish. And then we kind of first had our first actual breather of the day at 1027. And now we're just battling that trend line. So maybe we break out of this. We did get this higher low, so you could watch a little bit of this very short-term miniature consolidation. I know it's kind of absurd, but we're just kind of drilling into the smallest time frames just to see something, because some of these larger time frames are boring when you're in a consolidation. So maybe set an alert or something like that for just this potential trend line breakout, because that might be the thing that sets us up to test this 10-point region. We haven't really exceeded 5,800 yet. I want to be clear. I don't think that this is going to be a break and a rip on the first attempt. Of course, it could happen. It's just when you talk about such a key options level, technical level, psychological level, it's just rare that you get like that, like just smooth cut through. It's just a rare thing to happen. Like I said, it can happen. I'm not saying there's a 0% chance, but I'm just saying if you're bullish and all of a sudden we pop up here, hit 508, like 804, 805, 806, and then it gets like kind of hit and it's messing around, don't be surprised. It's just, that's what happens at key levels. The SPY is actually chilling right at its intraday high, while the Qs gave a little bit more back. MSTR going a bit flat now, Coin going a bit flat now. Palantir popped up until 1021, giving a bit back. Netflix going flat. Meta did try to get going, gave some back, large moves there. Nvidia popped, now going flat. Same thing with Tesla. So basically everything popped up until about 1020 and is now going flat. So we're just getting caught up. We went from a phase of consolidation, expansion. We are now consolidating again, which means the name of the game is just being patient and waiting for the next part of expansion. Obviously, I went long again when I saw this recovery. I thought, oh, okay, VWAP bounce, like maybe I could get in at a better price. I thought we were just going to keep expanding right up into this region, but it didn't happen. It stalled out. That's trading. That's life. Like if you're trying to base your trades off being like frustrated that it just doesn't go magically in your favor right away, I have some bad news for you about trading. It's going to be a brutal game for you. An absolutely brutal game for you. And yeah, now we're just waiting. Looking for a break and hold below these recent lows, 1027, or a break above the highs and a hold above that. Other than that, I really don't think there's much that could be done. All right, and as we're waiting for this consolidation break, I didn't see anything really too exciting. Like, I think MSTR was the exciting one up until about 10:21, and now everything's kind of stalled out. Did this ever come back? No. All right, I don't have the flow there, so it's very good that I have the flow here. What do we see today? So the delta is picking up. That's the teal line. The calls, people are finally getting into calls a little bit more. You could see that the calls have been trending up ever since about 9:51. Puts were being bought, then are being closed out, but have really just been sideways. So I don't see too many people touching puts, but people are starting to get into calls. So kind of watching this net delta rise. And remember, a rising delta is bullish. It can turn at a moment's notice in either direction. Okay, right there. Official trend line breakout on SPX. I am now looking here. I could show you this. Oops. Right here. I'm looking for a test in this 10-point region between 5,800 and 5,810. I think that's a natural magnet of the market. When we get there, which we pretty much just did, we hit 5,798. So we are undershooting it by about a point and some change, but I am looking for us to get into that region. When we do, who's going to win? Well, your guess is as good as mine. It depends on all of these guys and the trades. Are they going to be aggressive? Right here on this pump, someone just started buying puts. So these tests, do we get the breakouts, the breakdowns, the fake out breakdowns, the fake out breakdowns? It's pretty much impossible to predict because it's all going to be based on like the incoming trades. Like, I don't know what people are going to trade 2 minutes from now, 3 minutes from now. I don't know what the reasoning is going to be. All I can tell you is this is a key level where I'm expecting market participants to react. So that's why I'm watching it. The SPY got a new intraday high. The Qs did not. The Qs are lagging a little bit behind right now, looking for this push of 498, which would be just barely a new intraday high. MSTR is waking up. Coin's waking up. Microsoft was an exciting one, has kind of stalled out. Apple is actually now looking good. Apple's pumping should help both of these, obviously. Should help both of these. I really thought this 1027 recovery, like a quick puke recovery, I thought that was going to get going. I was by no means anticipating a stall out here, so I'm a little bit bummed about that. I was kind of anticipating the Qs to look how the SPY did. Got smacked, recovered a little bit, like 5-minute consolidation, already pushed to a new intraday high. So I guess what I was looking for played out, and I just played the wrong underlying. I should have played it on ES instead of NQ because NQ is still consolidating, which means that my position is currently slightly red. I'm underwater by about $200. So I'm hoping for this follow through above 83 on this push to 500. I'll move my stop to break even, and I'll see if I could catch another trend. Ideally, it happens. I don't know. We could just I'm getting myself into a bit of a position I don't want to be into because the Qs are not giving me what I want, but we're already in this region of resistance on SPX. Oh, to clarify, just in case this happens after I leave you, the next resistance is a larger region between yesterday's close of 5842, the key options level of 5850, and yesterday's high of 561. So this is the next region. A break and a hold above 5810 this is my next target, just to clarify to everyone. I'm not going to arbitrarily get out early at 20 or 30 when I think this is the key level. The close, the options level, and yesterday's high. How's mine looking? Oh, sick. All right. Easy peasy lemon squeezies. All risk off the table. Folks, that's how it's done. I know, and I even have this still too, but just to talk you through my thought process, in that, when I move it, yeah, like there is that thought. You're like, but what if it comes right back and like knocks you out? Okay, who gives a fuck? Like, of course, you want to be in all the big trends. You don't want to get like knocked out early or anything like that. But like, I'm telling you, even though there's that little voice in your head of like, nope, give it a little bit more room. Like, should I even be using my stops? I'm telling you, you have to be mentally okay with getting stopped out on most of your trades. Most of my trades, I'm getting stopped out for like break even. That happens a lot to me. You have to just accept it. That is a part of trading. It's just what the fuck it is. And that is the mechanism that I truly believe in the long run is just going to help you survive like the gauntlet, the trade that is trading. So like as much as I'm like, has it really gone that much? Should I give it a little bit more room? What if it pulls back and knocks me out? whatever. There's no pattern day trading. I'm already green on the day. Why do I want to let myself get red? I am in this for nice, consistent wins time and time again that eventually grow your account to being up over $1 million. Right now I'm up 800 something thousand and I already took out 200,000. So yeah, net for the life of these accounts, I'm up $1 million. Haven't though. My next goal is a new equity high, just in terms of the biggest number I've seen in here. Because remember, the number drops when you take all the payouts. So that's my next goal, which comes at 96,000. Right now, my equity high that these accounts have ever seen is 95.5.6. Oh, is it coming for me? Is it coming for me? Is the boogeyman coming for me? Maybe I get lucky. Maybe I don't. I don't know. And just to clarify, I was super aggressive with this because I simultaneously understand that this is resistance and the chance of us breaking and ripping on the first attempt, possible, not the highest. So I'm just kind of preparing myself of like, okay, like why risk money, especially when the NQ is lagging a little bit behind. Got close there. This is the second time today that I was like flirting with my level and we got a nice bounce off of it. Okay, I could just stop right now and be up $30,000 on the day. I could. What time is it? I've worked for about 70 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes. That's not a bad return on 70 minutes worth of work, 30 grand. You'd almost have to be a crazy person to not take that. You'd have to be a legit psycho loony bins person to not take that. What are you doing there, buddy? What are you doing there, Tonto? Right. Notice how we're getting smacked right at 58.10? It's almost as if someone knew that would be a key options level. Smacked. You shouldn't be surprised. The question is are we going to have enough to recover and keep going? Little consolidation. We have a higher low and a lower high. Which way is it going to break? I would love to use 80 as my stop. I want to move my stop up there just to guarantee myself some money. But for me to do that, I'd have to see a new high first. So I want to see us confidently take out 500 and really more so 513, because when that happens, I can move my stop up to this level. And then I really don't care. I just like whatever. I'm making money. Well, at this point, I kind of already don't care because my stop is break even. So I really don't give a shit. I know I'm green on the day. I know I've survived another day in the gauntlet, the marathon that is trading. The question is just how green is it going to be? And it seems like it's coming against me. Should I just take it? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Come on. At least get above 500. People are just clearly reacting to this 500 level. They're reacting to this 500 level. Just break it. Break it and run. Be free, Tonto. Be free. Be free, Tonto. Oh, brother. What am I doing with my life? What in the world am I doing with my life? You know, that's the key question. That is always the key question. What is today? Today is the 6th, right? All day? All day. All day. All day. All right. I just want to make sure I got this right. Today is Thursday, March 6th. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. If you're in the Discord, Piper just fired on that recent push, giving you guys the levels. Well, we tried to take out 500. and then we got smacked right back down. How is everything else looking? Ooh, I don't necessarily like it doing that. Come on. Support. Let's just keep this range alive. Don't break down below this range. Keep it alive there. Keep it alive. See how we're now struggling at 58.10? It's just because that's where people were playing a lot of levels. So now they're going from out of the money to in the money. So they're naturally reacting to it. I hope it breaks because I think it would be more fun to run all the way up to the close from yesterday, the key options level of the day, and yesterday's high. I love this region. But first, for us to get there, we're going to have to break. Oh, fuck. Ooh, are we going to bounce? My finger's on the trigger. Fingers on the trigger. Come on. Am I going to get lucky? Buy it up. Buy it up. All right. I'm done. $1,000 on each account. 20K day. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I was up 800. It's nice to get to that $1,000. So 20K locked in. I recognize in myself where I'm potentially overstaying my welcome. Man, I think I almost bottom ticked that too, but whatever. 20K locked in. You guys saw it all. Technically $20,346. 3 separate trades. The first trade was a good attempt, but I just kind of got wicked out. The second one was the May trade. And then this one right here, I just like, it's getting to that point in the day where I personally start to lose my edge. It's getting close to 11 a.m. So that's my 20K. And basically, I just need to stop. That's kind of it. It looks like maybe this 58.10 breakout is just going to be coming later. Maybe it doesn't come at all. I'm not really sure. I just know that's resistance. And on that second one, it was showing a little bit of weakness. And the last thing I wanted to was for this trade where I did take on a bit of risk because like right here, I got in, it dipped against me, then it pumped. The last thing I wanted was for it to come down to break even and mean to not have anything to show for it. So I was able to get an extra 10 points, an extra $200, bringing all of my accounts up to that nice level. That's it. Are there potentially other additional amazing trades today? 100%. But I also know that when I overstay my welcome, that's when I get like completely screwed. So just attempting to protect myself from myself, and that's what I'm doing. And of course, like right here, it would have, what did I get in at? So it would have wicked me out on that just to bounce again because I had my stop at break even. So right there on that push, it would have wicked me out, bounced again. Yeah, it's just, it's getting to that point in the day where it's just my edge starts to disappear. My edge starts to dissipate. So that means for me, even though I'm done scalp trading on the futures where you guys saw it right here, not only did I trade the 20 Apex, I also traded the 5 take profit. Now it's more the time for me to focus on my swing trades and really try to decide what I want to do or not do there. So got that first push, like the first portion of the trades out. And now I already gave you the levels of what I'm watching, what I'm not watching, the reasoning behind it. Obviously, if you want more detailed information, that's exactly what the Discord is for, but kind of laying out these levels perfectly for you. We're running into resistance. If it can break, I am then looking for a pump all the way up to this zone. It is a bit of a wider region, but we just so closely together have the closing from yesterday, the key options level, and then also yesterday's high. So if you wanted to be more specific, I'd be focusing on these bottom 2 levels, the 58.50 and the 58.43. I'd be more so focusing on this zone, but really it is the larger zone as a whole that is important. So I'd be watching this. So that might be a target for you for this afternoon, if there's like some afternoon swing or something like that. But even look at this. I'm incredibly happy I got out because if I held it, if I overstayed my welcome, which is a common issue I have, I would actually now be red on that trade and be eating into my profit. So instead of being up 20K, I would probably now be break even. So, hey, take my 20K and I am happy as a clam, happy to get out. I'm not going to complain at all, especially this midday chop and bullshit. And I don't know if there's going to be random announcements or not today. So it just is what it is. I'm happy with how I played it. Obviously, did I get the absolute max amount of money I possibly could have gotten today? No. But if you're trying to chase everything, thinking, oh, like, oh, that trade, like if you're trying to say like, oh, I traded absolutely perfectly, and you're defining that by getting the most money, like you're basically saying you want a bottom tick and top tick, which is impossible. No one can consistently bottom tick and top tick. And anyone who tells you that they can, they're basically trying to fucking sell you something, because if they could do it, they would keep the like secret to themselves and they wouldn't be telling you guys or anyone. If you had a perfect way to predict every bottom and every top, you don't publicly talk about it. That's for damn sure. So I try to keep it more realistic and just get the meat of the move. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to get the meat of the move. I got my money. I survived another day. I know tomorrow's going to be even more crazy with the unemployment report tomorrow morning at 8:30, an hour before the market opens. Midday, we have a speech from Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed. And then slightly after that, we have a speech from President Trump. So tomorrow's going to be even more wild. And because it was wild, I thought there would become like potential like just like weird things happening throughout the day today. So the fact that I could get out relatively unscathed after going down 1,000 on each account to end up 1,000 on each account, of course, I'm absurdly happy. And I just actually filmed a video before today's stream. And one of the things I spoke about in that video is there is an absurdly high correlation between my losing days and how much I trade. The more I trade, that is highly correlated with me actually having a red day, while the less I trade is actually me correlated with having green days. So for me, like knowing that, like seeing the stats and facts and figures of like my own trading, like this isn't just like random news of other traders. Like this is the data on my own trades. The more I trade, the higher the probability that I'm going to lose money. So when you know those stats about yourself, you just say, oh, okay, I made money. Like, why would I start to wanting to put myself into like just like a poor odds situation? So we ran up, we hit that target. I called it out to all of you. This zone, we got to the upper end of the zone. We're getting hit. I assume we're going to dance around here. I would love in the afternoon a breakthrough and a rip, ideally all the way up to the top end of this zone, but we're going to see what the market gives us. Obviously, conversely, if we don't break and we start to come down, the next downside target is 5775, and below that is obviously yesterday's low. So playing it accordingly, I would not say it's ever smart to be married to the bullish or bearish side of things. You just play the current trend and you play to the key levels, which is what I try to do with my live trading throughout the day today. And obviously, it worked pretty well thus far. I'm trying to think of anything else. Anything else? Oh yeah, Apex. Remember, use that code Goonie. Use the code Goonie for everything. If there's a service associated with me, you could probably bet that the code Goonie is going to be the code that gives you the discount. So if you want to use Goonie on Apex Trader, you're going to get 80% off. Right now, they're running a pretty big deal on Take Profit as well. You could use Goonie on Vanquish if you're also a prop trader for options. If you want to sign up for the Discord, the free months is, once again, guess what? Code Goonie. I just try to use code Goonie for everything just so it all makes your life like a little bit easier. So just wanted to call that out. Actually, even code Goonie on GexSpot here, but how's this one looking? The flow was really good up until about 1050, and now it's starting to get cracked again. Looks like we are getting a clear rejection at that options level. Clear rejection. So literally called out that top at 5810. Getting a little bit smoked right now to the tune of 20 points. And what we're seeing is people are starting to buy puts. The puts were getting sold, and then someone started to buy the puts back. Calls not really being touched. No one's really touching calls, but this little price puke right here, is this, I mean, oddly enough, look at the price is right back to VWAP. Right back to VWAP. Not the worst time to go long, honestly. Not the worst time to go long. Just buying the dip there. Maybe wait for a little bit more confirmation. 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes trying to hold on to being bullish, but the 30-minute was confidently rejected from that breakout. 5-minute bullish, 10-minute trying to hold bullish. Once again, the 30-minute getting rejected from the breakout. So the smaller time frames literally, like, legitimately went bullish, but the 30-minute swiftly rejected in the past half hour. on both NQ and on ES. So I'll be looking for that. Not only would that mean that we have a new intraday breakout, but I'm just looking for us to see if we can clear the recent high, or conversely, the 5-minute and the 10-minute drop back into the red territory. The bears are still in control, and we have a quick puke to 57.50, potentially followed by a puke down to 57. First level 57.75, followed by an additional puke all the way down to 57.50. So I would just be playing it accordingly. Remember, most people's edges dissipate midday. I truly believe retail traders would be better off not trading between 11 and 1, 11 and 2. The midday stuff, it's a lot of chop. It's a lot of bullshit. If you ask me, it forces a lot of people to waste a lot of time. Like they're just sitting around and like looking at basically paint dry. So obviously it can be a very, very frustrating time, which I think can lead you to doing things you know you shouldn't be doing, but you end up doing it out of boredom or for whatever reason. All right, maybe I should mark. So the Qs are coming down a little bit more aggressively right now. A little bit more aggressively. Puts, I guess people waited. Remember, the one thing what is going on right now? What in the world is going on? People just closed out a lot of puts on that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we bounce off of this. Puts are actively being closed out and the net deltas really popping. So I would not be surprised if right here, if this zone that we just hit is just another higher low relative to what we've seen throughout the day. I'd be watching this, see if we can recapture all the way back up to 5,800, obviously, but just in terms of how options, like right here, just a huge amount of puts closed out. So that's popping the delta, and guess what happens when you pop the delta? You pop price. I would not be chasing this to the downside just because the options market is suggesting that it's not a smart thing to do. Not a smart thing to do. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if buying off of this VWAP was a smart move. Let's just call it 410. And I'm curious to see how this just plays out for the rest of the day. 410, you don't even have that much of a risk. You have a 25-point risk. You're risking $500. And if you could ride this back up to the intraday high, that's like the risk reward there is just so good in your favor. So well-defined risk, well-defined reward, and you have not only trend, but you're kind of playing this options move right here. I mean, look at that. Bounce right out of it. Literally calling that perfect. Like it's so fascinating to me to be able to see this stuff in real time. Be like, because that happened before the bounce. Right here, all these puts got closed, and then that was actually at the low, and then we bounce out of it. So by definition, that is a leading indicator. Called it out, then price bounces. So that's why I'm personally so fascinated with watching the options market, because you get to be able to call things out like that and kind of get insights before craziness actually happens. So I think it's cool, but yeah, maybe just watch this downsloping trend line if you're looking for a way to get in. Maybe you didn't want to play it right at that bottom, which, hey, that's fine. Teach their own. It's kind of a steep trend line that we're already breaking, so that one's actually maybe not the most useful. I was trying to find a trend line break, but it literally just happened at 94. You could risk this recent low. If you're looking at something like NDX, yeah, pretty much the same situation. You can watch this trend line. It's trying to break right there. Obviously, that's an entry long. Your risk is the recent low, and you're attempting to ride it all the way back up to the intraday high. Does that trade work every single time? God, no. No trade works every single time. But what I'm here to tell you is that you have very well-defined risk. Very, very well-defined risk. I'm seeing some questions of like the stuff that I use. Everything I use is in the description of the video. You don't have to ask me the links and all that stuff. Just look in the description of the video. The thing that I use to track, this is called GexBot. Wow. Speaking of that, a lot of puts just got closed out. Hello? And now I lost it. Hello? Okay. Yeah, even more puts just got closed out. Yeah, that's a pretty obvious fucking play right there. That's a really obvious play right there. Damn, that thing that I just said, going long at 410 here, that was a beautiful play. You're already up 60 points. You're already up 50 points, so you're already up $1,000. Fuck, that was the play. This VWAP bounce, checking it. Oh man, That worked out beautifully. Beautifully. All right. A little bit of a fake out breakdown. The little fake out breakdown was utilized by the options market for people holding puts to get out of those puts. The delta pumped on that. Obviously, puts getting closed out. That's the red lines going higher. So when delta goes higher, that is just positive, and it just is a little bit more insightful to how the market makers are going to handle it. And look at that. We pumped from 91 all the way back up to 800. So we were back in that like no man's land thing of this 10-point. Like I said, look for the breakout of the intraday high. My next target is all the way up here. Will it work? Won't it work? No, I don't know. But I'm telling you, there's high odds of kind of revisiting this zone right here. Anywho, that's what I have for you. Like I said, if you want to trade with other people's money the way I do, check out Vanquish, use the code Goonie. Check out Take Profit Trader, use the code Goonie. Check out Vanquish. So you have Apex, Take Profit Trader, and Vanquish. Vanquish is for options. Apex and Take Profit Trader are for futures. The code Goonie will get you a discount on all of those. The option stuff that I use to monitor the market, what I just showed you is GexSpot. I also use Spot Gamma. Once again, the code Goonie on all that stuff is going to get you a discount. But I like to pair all these things together. And obviously, if you have any particular questions or whatnot, that's exactly what the code or the Discord's for if you want to talk with me personally. Any prop firms for trading stocks or derivatives that isn't a scam, yeah, I literally just listed them for you. Those are the ones. There are a lot of scams, so you have to be careful. The ones that I currently use myself is Apex, Take Profit. Those are for futures. And when I do it with options, I use Vanquish. Just to clarify, those are like my personal favorites right now. So like I said, shout out to all those. Use the code Goonie. And then if you want to hang out and trade with me, there's always the Goonie Trading Discord. So that's all pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video and all that good stuff. But that's what I have for you. I appreciate all the good vibes. Some good tendies were made today. I hope you're even making more. And we will be posting an update video tonight and then streaming once again tomorrow morning, and we're going to start early tomorrow because of the unemployment report. So, and then on top of that, we're going to have specialty streams because we have Jerome Powell speaking and President Trump speaking. So tomorrow is going to be an absolutely wild day. So best of luck to all. I appreciate all the good vibes. I hope you make a shitload of money, and I'll catch you guys manana. Have a good one. Peace.